Hello, today I would like to talk about a topic that in my opinion we don't talk about enough. We hear a lot about sustainability, but we don't hear enough about waste, and in particular food waste, since I'm in the food and agriculture sector. It's a serious problem because, well, when I wrote my first book in 2009, the percentage of food waste, at least the estimate by then, was about a third. And now in 2023, the percentage is also estimated at one third of the total food that's produced. So that means that over this period, while the world population has increased quite strongly, we still waste the same percentage, which means in actual tonnage we waste even more. And that is a problem because the food waste actually represents about 8 to 10% of the global greenhouse gases emissions. And so we have to do something about it, because that's, in my opinion, maybe the area where we can score the fastest and the most. So what is the food waste? Well, there are two different kinds of waste. In developed countries, it appears that it's mostly at the end of the chain, so at the level of restaurants, level of retail, at the level of households, that the food is wasted. That is more an organizational and a behavioral issue. In developing countries, the problem is more what's called post-harvest, which means that the food is produced, but it either rots on the fields or it does not access the markets, and then it's not eaten. And it's a problem because, well, that food is needed, and it could also be solved rather easily. Let's face it, it's mostly a matter of infrastructure. And in particular warehouses, because one of the main area of losses is that the food is basically spoiled or eaten by vermin or molded. And these are things that are not particularly high-tech. We know how to build good warehouses, but the money is not there. And unfortunately, it seems that the big money prefers to go in the high-tech, yeah, more what I would say first world solutions for first world problems. Well, here we have to deal with very basic, infrastructure issues. And the money doesn't go there for a simple reason. Let's face it, the return on investment is not as juicy as you can have when you just invest in tech startups. So, but the problem is not all that difficult to solve. So how can we do that? Well, it's a matter of political will, but it's also, I think, investors have to realize that there are possibilities. And okay, yeah, maybe not the great return on investments they're used with startups, but there is definitely a lot to do. And the difference, of course, is if you look at infrastructure, that is a societal return on the investment, while if you invest in startups, it's more of an individual return on investment. But we need to fix this, because if we do not, then we are going to create more and more problems down the road. We just have to realize that if we waste a third of the food, well, you have to realize that, you use tractors, you use fossil fuels to use the tractors, you use water, you use all sorts of inputs, fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, and all of that requires also a lot of fossil fuels to be produced. And all those resources basically are wasted, a third of that. We also put a lot of stress on the land, because theoretically, to keep it, simplistic, I would say, we could produce just as much with one third less of the land. So we could really preserve the land and make sure that it has more time to regenerate, and it's more productive, and preserves also the soil from erosion. We also would reduce the amount of water we put on it. So we really would save a lot of resources. And yeah, like I said, unfortunately we don't talk enough about it, and I think that maybe with this video I'm going to make you more curious, and you really need to have to investigate. It's, like I said, it's not that difficult to solve, but it takes discipline, it takes the will, it takes also probably a bit more altruism than we have today. But this is an issue that we need to address and solve, not just talk about it.